everyone here. So today's video we're going to talk about hay. Hay is 80% of your guinea pig's diet, so it is so important. So there's two categories of hay. There's legume hay, which is alfalfa, and then there's the long strand grass hay, which is timothy, orchard grass, bluegrass. Those are the main ones. I cannot stress enough that it doesn't matter if your guinea pig's a day old or 7 years old, they all require the long strand grass hay. Legume hay, which is alfalfa, can be fed to nursing, pregnant, or baby guinea pigs, so pigs 6 months and under, but still, along with the legume hay, they still need the long strand grass hay. I personally never feed alfalfa because there's just not much point. It's to help them get more calcium, but you can easily do that with having the alfalfa-based pellets or giving them higher in calcium vegetables. So I personally use Oxbow hay, so I'm going to go through all the bags that I have to show you the different types that Oxbow offers, and we're going to talk a little bit about them. So first is Western Timothy hay. So this hay is kind of right in between the sweet and the hearty for their little scale that they have, and the soft and the crunchy. Some parts of this hay is leafy and green, others has hard stalks, and there are seed heads. So it's a really good combination for a little bit of everything that your guinea pigs might enjoy. Timothy hay is something you're going to find the most popular types of hay in the pet store or for farmers. So you don't have to buy Oxbow. There's other types out there. KM's Hayloft has a lot of good hays. I think there's Small Pet Select. And I personally just love Oxbow. You can get farmer hay. You just need to make sure no pesticides or acids are used. And you need to ask them what's in the hay, because a lot of times I find, anyway, for farmers around here, alfalfa is always mixed in, or a lot of clover, so things that are too high in calcium for me to feed my adult guinea pigs. But a lot of people have great luck finding large bales of really nice quality hay. I personally just pick Oxbow because it's way easier for me. So Timothy hay is a great staple hay for all pets. The next main type of hay you're going to see is orchard grass. Orchard grass is a lot greener and leafier. There's no hard stalks in this. So this one is on the sweeter side and on the softer side. Guinea pigs absolutely love this, and this is a great choice of hay if you're ever worried about having hay pokes. Stuff can still happen with no matter what hay you have, but I would say less eye injuries with orchard grass hay because it's not hard and stocky like the Timothy. So kind of going with the Timothy and orchard grass hay, I personally buy the big 50-pound boxes and I combine it for my pigs here at home. If you didn't want to purchase the big large boxes but you still want a combination of both, Oxbow now has the hay blends. So in this large bag here, they've blended it together already for you. So maybe you only just have a couple pigs, so you just want to buy one bag at a time. This would be for you to be able to have both types of hay for them. So now there's two other types of hay that Oxbow sells. Well, they do have the alfalfa, but I don't have that to show because, as I said, I don't use that. So they do have two types of hay that are more classed as a treat hay that you can kind of mix in with your staple hays, the Timothy or the orchard grass. So we have botanical hay here. It's on the sweet side and right in the middle for crunchy or soft, because there are some crunchy stalks in here and there's soft parts in here. So what's in this is Timothy hay, organic meadow hay, botanical hay, orchard grass hay. No, that's not what's in here. I was reading the wrong thing. I was reading types of hay. So what's in this is Timothy grass hay, chamomile, lavender, lemon balm, and clover. So this has a lot of different flavors, so I use this as a treat. Just give them a little pile or mix it in with their hay so they can pick through and have something. It smells delicious. This wouldn't be something you would want to use as your staple hay, just to combine as a treat hay. Or even if your piggy was unwell and you really want to entice them to eat more, sometimes giving them something different from what they usually get will get them into eating. So this one absolutely smells delicious and all the pigs love it. Now another type of hay that I consider a treat hay that you wouldn't want to use just as your staple is oat hay. So oat hay is higher on the scale for being really hardy, so it's really crunchy, and it's right up there on the crunchy scale too. So it's quite thick and really rugged type of hay. So in here are really coarse stalks and then some little oat sprays. So this is a hay that definitely is just for a treat. Every once in a while you can mix it in with your other hay. The guinea pigs do enjoy this. If I give it too often, they're kind of over it. So I only give this a couple times a month and they'll eat it. Because otherwise I find if I give this too often, they're leaving it in the cage. Because it is a lot more work for them to chew through these really coarse stalks. So they just kind of like it once in a while. Seymour absolutely loves this whenever you give it to him though. So yeah, now let's talk a little bit about how much hay do you give your guinea pigs. So we know it's 80% of their diet, but how do you know how much to put in their cage? So the general rule is it should be available 24/7. Hay is dried out grass, so it's not going to go bad. The only way it's going to go bad is if it's been soiled. So if it's been peed or pooped on, you do need to take that out so it doesn't go moldy. Otherwise, if you have it up in a hay rack where it's staying dry, you can keep it in there. So you can load up their hay rack as full as you want, and it's not going to go bad. So they should have access to it at all times. And something I want to say is a lot of times at the pet stores, you're going to buy like the little teeny hay racks. And there's even like the feeder bin type racks where you can put pellets in the front, hay in the back. I find those are not easy for the guinea pigs to get out the proper amount of hay. You don't want to have it crammed so far back that they can only pick a couple strands out here and there. You want it easily accessible. So you would like a nice big pile, or I use a grid, so like one of the CNC grids bent in half. Put the hay in that, so they have lots of areas to pull it out on the side or pull it through quite the big squares. You don't want to be, it's a tough thing because you don't want to be wasting hay. Guinea pigs love to waste hay, but you also don't want to keep it so compacted that they can't get enough out. Hay is so important for their digestive system, so the fiber in the long strand grass hay is what keeps their tummies moving, flowing nicely so that they poop and their tummy keeps going, because guinea pigs' GI tracts are continuously moving, so they always need a supply of food going through their stomachs. That's where hay comes in, because you can't overfeed pellets, you can't overfeed veggies. Hay is the thing that they can snack on at any time. And also hay is what keeps their back molars, the molars that you cannot see, ground down properly. So guinea pigs' teeth are open rooted, so they're forever growing. So hay is what's going in back there, making their molars grind against each other, wear down properly. So if you're limiting hay, or your guinea pig's not able to get the hay out of the contraption you have it stored in, their teeth could start to overgrow, and what they do is they start to bridge over their tongue so that they essentially would starve to death. So they would need dental surgery, which is going to be expensive. So dental problems can still happen. It can be genetics, but hay definitely decreases the chances of your guinea pigs having that. So when you're putting their hay out, please keep in mind about, is it easy for them to access a good amount of hay. So my guinea pigs, I personally like use a large, I'd say easily half of this bag for a pair they could eat in a day. So for me purchasing these tiny bags, they wouldn't last very long. So if I was you, I would either buy like the huge bale at the farmers, from the farmers, or the 50-pound boxes from whatever shop you want to buy it from. I buy the Oxbow ones, so that you're not just giving out little minuscule piles of hay because you feel like you want this bag to last a long time. It's just not realistic that this is going to last a long time. Even for one guinea pig, you'd be going through this pretty quick. So I would get at least like the 9-pound bags or up, because you usually can get about 25 and then 50, because you don't want to feel like, oh, I need this to last me 2 weeks. You kind of just need to give them as much as they're going to eat. So I'll just go around and I'll show you how I store the hay so you can kind of see. Okay, so this is a hay pile for 2 male guinea pigs. This is for Angus and Bullseye. Half of this is orchard grass, half is Timothy. This pile is going to be almost non-existent 12 hours from now when I do their nightly cleanup before I go to bed. Like, that's a large pile of hay. That's probably almost what fits in one of those tiny hay bags that I was showing you. So here is my trios cage. They have 2 of the grids that are bent. So it is stuffed completely, and by tonight I will definitely need to stuff more in there. But that's just an example. This is how easily accessible hay is for the pigs. They can eat off to the side. There's stuff that's hanging over, or there's all those little squares where they can pull it through. And oftentimes I'll put even this little line of Timothy on the cage liner so that they can just eat and sleep or whatever they feel like doing with it. So if you can look at that compared to some of the hay racks that they sell in the pet store, that's personally how accessible I think everybody's hay should be. So keeping it up like that, a lot of it isn't wasted. It's when you put it on the ground that, yes, they're going to poop, they're going to pee on it. So if that bothers you, keeping it up but still having lots of pieces available for them to pull down easily is super important. Isn't that right, Miss Pecan? You pretty girl. What are you doing?